Bonjour, race fans! It's time for the second part of the Over the Border review special, which the first part got uploaded late because of one of my brothers using the internet, and that slowed it down, and my videos are 4K. Usually it'll be uploaded within a few hours, but not when one of my brothers are home and is using the internet. Anyways, let's proceed. I didn't go to this race live as, you know, F1 tickets ain't cheap. But I will go to another major Canadian open wheel race later in the summer. I'm still leaving it out as a surprise until I go there, but anyways. The Canadian Grand Prix begins with the usual formation lap as F1 has a standing start instead of the rolling start that NASCAR and IndyCar have. After the race goes underway, we see the pole sitter George Russell make a big jump to the lead. Alex Albon cuts a corner while he fights for position with Copintio. On lap 2, Antonelli is already in the lead. Wait, what? That's what I thought when I saw Kimi Antonelli in the lead. It's like seeing Ty Gibbs leading, like you don't expect it. Verstappen is also trying to run down Russell and get a back-to-back Canadian GP victory. So far, not much is going on, as to be expected with Formula 1 races. Usually not much happens, because, well, Formula 1 is all about dominance. Verstappen and Russell continue their battle for the lead. Russell's lead starts to grow as he's now 1.5 seconds ahead of Verstappen. Antonelli starts running down Verstappen and attempts to overtake him, which he does as Verstappen makes an early pit stop as he has tire issues. Ocon and Hadjar battle for 12th while Russell pits in as he is told to do so. Thus, Antonelli is now in the lead. Antonelli is next to come down to pit road, and Piastri is now leading. McLaren is also running 1-2 as Norris is in second. On lap 17, Piastri comes down to pit road and hands over the lead to his teammate. Hamilton is running in 10th and is having a hard time getting past the midfielders and back markers. Alex Albon has to box due to a power unit issue. Good lord, Alpine can never seem to catch a break. Lance Stroll, the hometown hero, well, the hometown driver, makes a pit stop. I don't think he's much of a hero, because he's hated by a lot of drivers. So he's the hometown driver. Leclerc makes a pit stop and gets fresh tires. Later in the race, Russell makes another pit stop and is way behind. But hey, at least he's in 4th. Speaking of which, Piastri makes another pit stop and hands over the lead to Norris yet again. On lap 46, Hamilton is next to come down to pit road, but is still behind Leclerc. Yeah, I really feel bad for Hamilton in this situation with Ferrari. Like, it's not looking good for him. I want to see him win. Hopefully that'll even things out. Albon is now out of the race, and the race gets yellow flagged! Yeah, that's going to be a problem later in the race, as you are going to know. But it's still behind Leclerc. One driver gets the penalty thrown at him while Bortoletto is battling Copintio for 13th. Yeah, Copintio, however you want to pronounce it. Yeah, I came up with a new pronunciation for him. Seriously, like, some drivers have foreign names that are very hard to pronounce sometimes. Bortoletto makes a pit stop and gives up 13th to Copintio. Leclerc makes a pit stop and gives up the lead to Russell. Piastri jumps up to 4th and is behind Antonelli. Verstappen still wants to win as he starts eating away at Russell's lead gap. Piastri then puts Beerman a lap down, and also has a hard time trying to get past one of the Alpine drivers. Yeah, lap traffic does become a factor here, even with DRS. Norris makes an attempt to get past Piastri, but fails to do so. He does try to pass him again, only to fail and crash out! Oh my goodness, this is awful! Yeah, it's really awful. Whew. DRS didn't work here, as the straights of Circuit Gilles Villeneuve are not known to be long. Yeah, short straights, that's why DRS doesn't work well. Norris is out of the race. The safety car gets deployed, and the race ends under a safety car. After we got to witness one of the most anticlimactic finishes in any F1 race, we get driver talk, and the winning driver's national anthem is played. Because of that disappointing finish, this year's Canadian Grand Prix gets a 7 out of 10. But at least George Russell got to win in home turf. Well, Canada is the country that I live in after all, so I'm happy that Russell won, but he won under a safety car. So far, it's the lowest rated race as it ended under a safety car, and I dislike it when any race ends under a caution or yellow. But hey, at least Antonelli got to have a 3rd place podium finish. It gets a point for that. It would get a 6 out of 10 without Antonelli's podium finish or George Russell winning. But anyways, let's head on over to Mexico City. Hola, everyone. We go to the second part of the Over the Border review special at Mexico. As I mentioned previously, there was a lot of hype surrounding the races themselves and a lot of hurdles that the teams had to go through. If all goes well, we might get another international race next year, similar to how we have a rotating championship race. I was also able to see the pre-race segment, and Jeff Gordon Ramsay, yeah, Michael Bruce calls him that, by the way, gave off the command to start their engines. See? I told you it was worth it. SVG is also on pole. I'm hoping he wins this one. But anyways, the NASCAR Cup Series race at Mexico City begins with Shane Van Gisbergen and Ross Chastain running 1-2. Rain becomes a factor in this race, and it's a good thing that they remember to pack rain tires here as a caution comes underway. They even have windshield wipers similar to when the Xfinity Series or Nationwide Series at the time ran at Montreal. The overly long caution ends with Ross Chastain trying to get the lead. He was running in second until SVG got past him. And then a huge wreck causes another caution. Good lord, I'm starting to have flashbacks here. Some drivers even enter the grass, and Larson has wheel issues. Kyle Busch got involved with Justin Haley and several other drivers. Poor Bushy. He can never catch a break. Yeah, I swear, he has bad luck all over the board. Several drivers come down to pit road to get their cars fixed. Both Kyles also had to go down to the garage to get their cars fixed as per the new DVP rules. The caution ends with SVG and Gibbs battling for the lead, and SVG manages to get past him and is now in first. Yes! Woo! That's what I want to see. I don't want to see Ty Gibbs winning. I'm sorry. As you can tell, I do not like Ty Gibbs. Yeah, you should never compare yourself to Jesus. That's bad. Really, really bad. And never wreck out your own teammate to try to win. That's bad. You go for it, man! Even in the Cup Series, Gibbs is still aggressive and tries to get past him, but he doesn't do it. SVG starts gaining a massive lead gap and has learned his lesson from Chicago as he crashed out in that race. Remember last year he crashed out in the Chicago rainy race? Yeah. I wanted him to win that race. I wanted him to get a second win there, and I waited so long for him to do it. I'm not going to spoil it in this review. SVG starts getting a huge lead gap, and it seems that nothing can stop him. Priest gets past Chastain for third. SVG continues to hang on to his lead gap, and he now has a 5-second lead gap. Yeesh. The guy is amazing. Ryan Truex is also filling in for Denny Hamlin, and it's the first time that another driver filled in for the main driver on a road course since the 2000s. Taco Bell makes a pit stop, and a lap later, Ty Gibbs makes a pit stop to change to the slicks. Other drivers follow suit, but SVG stays out until he too pits in. Priest is now in the lead. Blaney is running down Priest and they engage in a battle for the lead. Because SVG pitted in, Priest wins the first stage of the NASCAR Cup Series race at Mexico City. Several drivers come down to pit road, and Priest wins the race off the pit road. The second stage begins with McDowell leading, and then all of a sudden, Suarez jumps to the lead while chaos ensued. Wait, what? Ty Gibbs got past Suarez as he continues to run aggressively. SVG is in second and starting to eat away at Ty Gibbs' lead gap. No matter how hard he tries, Ty Gibbs always tries to find a way to get it back. Jeez, like that guy is aggressive, I swear. Yeah, I swear that he learned road course racing from playing video games or some Super GT racer, I don't know. Todd Gilliland loses control and manages to get out of the way of the other drivers. Suarez and McDowell come down to pit road. Taco Bell is seen running down Cindric and tries to get past him. He eventually gets past him in the stadium section. Another caution comes out with Ryan Truex spinning out and missing the exit. I'm hoping that caution will shake things up. Cole Custer comes down to pit road along with several other drivers. No race off of pit road this time. The race restarts with Gibbs and SVG battling for the lead. Even with a push from Bell, SVG is still right behind Gibbs. Oh, come on, please don't have him ruin this race and win this one. Yeah, I still don't want to see Ty Gibbs winning. That's what happens when you compare yourself to Jesus and what happens when you wreck out your own teammate to win a race in the Xfinity Series. You lose respect. With 4 to go, Gibbs is still leading. Oh, man. Several drivers come down to pit road. Gibbs pits in and SVG is now leading. Yes! SVG stays out. SVG wins the second stage. That's Shane Van Gisbergen, by the way. That's basically what his name is abbreviated as. Several drivers pit in while the others stay out. The third and final stage begins with Bell and SVG bowing for the lead. And Bell is now leading. Ross spun out and made it to the track, though I still feel bad for him as he's no longer in contention to win, unless something happens. And Stenhouse just spun out, but he doesn't cause a caution. SVG retakes the lead as he got past Bell. Ryan Truex manages to spin out yet again. Chaos ensues yet again as Briscoe and Priest try to get back on the lead lap. And there's contact with Briscoe and Eric Jones. Yeah, Eric Jones is the worst driver on a road course, by the way. I know that most NASCAR drivers can turn right, but Eric Jones really needs a GPS or road course ringer. Like, I wish that he got a road course ringer, because he's the worst driver on road courses, as is the Dillon brothers, Ty and Austin. Yeah, they need road course ringers. I swear, like, Austin Dillon and Ty Dillon need David Malukas and Graham Rahal to take their place as road course drivers. They suck at turning right. And yes, I agree with Michael Moose, by the way, on worst road course drivers. Briscoe and Jones continue to go at each other. Gibbs, who continues to move up, gets past McDowell for third. Bell comes down to pit road, and next to join in are Alex Bowman, Ryan Preece, and Prosper, Texas, Chris Buescher. SVG comes down to pit road and gives up the lead to Gibbs. Carson Hocevar spins out and causes what else? The next caution of the day! Several drivers come down to pit road, including Gibbs, which means he lost all chances of winning. Yeah, I normally be mad if a driver loses all chances of winning, but this is Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs is not the driver that I want to see win a race. The caution ends with SVG and Bell battling for the lead yet again. Bell is now in third as Bowman got past him. Cole Custer is running in fifth, which is impressive. Chase Elliott gets past Chastain for seventh. Austin Dillon and Josh Berry get involved, but no caution is thrown as, again, the track is big enough where it isn't much of a concern. Herbst also spun out and was close to causing a caution, but he survived and didn't cause one. Phew, that was a close call. Lil Bow Wow, which is Michael Moose's nickname for Alex Bowman, and Taco Bell continue to battle for second. Bell tried to get past him, but Bowman shuts the door on him. Ty Gibbs gets blocked by Chastain as he tries to get past him. McDowell even bumps into him. SVG gains a near 5-second lead gap with just 15 to go. His lead gap continues to grow with 13 to go, so yeah, he's not slowing down. All he has to do is not make any mistakes. Hocevar loses control by braking too fast, and that's something that made Ricky Stenhouse Jr. upset, by the way. Yeah, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. was mad that Hocevar did that. Like, I swear, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Carson Hocevar are still at it. Like, it's embarrassing to Carson Hocevar because he has to deal with a WWE midget, I mean Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Yeah, like, Michael Moose usually calls the shorter drivers midgets or lawn gnomes. I know it can be insulting, but that's how it goes, that's how it rolls with him. He's Michael Moose after all. But again, no caution is thrown as he's safe. Chastain attempts to hold off McDowell, but fails as McDowell gets past him and is now behind Briscoe. Well, what do you expect? Michael McDowell did race in the Champ Car World Series once, and he is actually pretty good on road courses. I thought he sucked at turning right until I actually did some research and found out that he was an open-wheel driver once, so that's pretty cool. Free Willy gets past Chastain for 11th. Smoke comes out of Free Willy's car as he locks up. With one lap to go, SVG continues to impress as he has a giant lead gap. Amazing what he can do. Yes, SVG wins and has a morale-breaking 17 lead gap to go along with it. Yeah, you just can't stop Shane Van Gisbergen. He is freaking amazing at road courses. Like, not very good on ovals, but when you take it to a road course, he could be up there with Jeff Gordon on trying to beat him for a road course record. He makes, like, Marcus Ambrose look like an amateur. Well, he was pretty good at road courses as well, but SVG is like Ambrose, but better. Sorry, Ambrose fans. It just goes to show how awesome he is at road courses. He even does a signature victory celebration. Needless to say, the highlight of this race is seeing SVG finally getting his second win in the Cup Series and locking himself into the playoffs. Just like the Xfinity race, it gets a 9 out of 10. Both Suarez and SVG have managed to impress everyone. Suarez even drives over to congratulate him. Ah, how nice. It's always nice to have a teammate congratulate you for your awesome feat. And to put the icing on the cake, he even learned from the very best, aka Max Verstappen. Yeah, he learned from Max Verstappen on how to race in the rain. That is really cool. He even kicks the rugby ball, as that is his signature celebration. As expected, Stenhouse gets angry at Carson Hocevar. Yeah, I expect these two to go at each other in the next race. NASCAR's return to Mexico City was worth it, and hopefully it'll put on a better show at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve than what we saw at this year's F1 race. That is, if it becomes a reality. But anyways, it's time to head to Gateway as we have another oval race in the IndyCar series. Here's the link to the Xfinity race in Mexico if you want to see it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell just in case you haven't already done so. Catch you guys next time, and peace out.